All right, we're back. Episode 2 of the Green Teas podcast. I'm Carter Whitelow, back to you again for some controversial takes. Episode 1 was really great. You got to know about me. You got to know about some trash fits, some that weren't as trash. And also we talked about the Olympics that were coming up. So I hope you had a great time last time. This time, we're going to recap the Olympics, what happened there, talk about the U.S. amateurs, a couple other things as well, but also hit our fit checks, of course. But first, we're going to talk about what I did this week in golf. This week, I had a great time. Hit 3 golf courses this week with a couple of my buddies. First and foremost, I hit Club Viniterra. And I know some of you all know the Viniterra Golf Course. It is in New Kent, Virginia, and it's a fantastic course in this area, I must say. One of my personal favorites, and you may have seen it on some Bob Does Sports videos on YouTube. Fat Perez and the boys went out to Viniterra to golf along with a ton of other influencers because Viniterra has probably the best value for niceness in the entire Commonwealth of Virginia for a public golf course. Had a fantastic time out there with some politicos from Richmond. Shout out Don. Shout out my boy Mike. Had a fantastic time and shot in the 90s, which, not too bad for a beginner like myself. But man, we were swinging those things. And a matter of fact, the intro to this illustrious program was shot at Viniterra. So shout out to the folks at Viniterra. Second of all, went to my home course to play 2 times this week. My home course is Lakeside Park Club in Lakeside, Virginia. It's a Don Ross design, and it's every bit of a Don Ross course you could ever imagine. 18 holes of probably the most rough terrain you can probably imagine, and it's beautiful, of course, but all the greens are sloped. You never know which way the putt is going to break, depending on how they have the hole set up. You just never know where it's going to go. I can probably walk you through each landmine on the course, but in particular, if you ever make it out to LPC, be ready for holes 1 through 4 to take your soul. I promise you, it will take every bit of you to not want to quit after you play holes 1 through 4 on Lakeside Park Club. So hole 1's a par 4. Not very long. It's probably 325 yards. But you have to hit the fairway. And this goes for basically everywhere on Lakeside. But especially holes 1 through 4. If you hit the rough, you're going to go in water, go in the actual lake, or be blocked off by trees to the point where you might as well take your medicine. Hit the fairway on number 1, and it dribbled off right to the right of the fairway into the rough. It was really hard paying conditions on the day I played. And I'm getting to the point now where instead of doing the hero shot, which I have a tendency to do all the time, I'm just going to say, take my medicine, get on the fairway, and try to get an easy shot into the green. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I did not do that. I took my medicine. I said, I'm just going to punch it out. And I punched it out into a tree and into the 18th fairway, which is right next to hole number 1. So what should have been an easy par turned into a 6 to start out, which is pretty normal. On hole 2, it's a par 3. If you go right, you're screwed. You're going to go from the second hole all the way through the third hole down into the lake. And I didn't do that this time. You got to aim left on the left side of hole number 2. There's some pot bunkers. I cleared those bunkers and had a really Nice shot. I mean, it was a little bit left of the green, but it was chippable. Got on the green in two, and then I two putted. So bogues. Hole three. And this is very rare for me because the sight lines on hole three are crazy. But there's a little island you can tee off of on hole three, which is beautiful. It's right in the center of the lake. You kind of drive down and walk over a plank of death to the island where you can tee off on hole three. If you've never played there before, you would think, oh my God, like I don't know what's happening. If you can hit the fairway on hole three, you are fine. But only if you hit the right side of the fairway, because literally there is a 45-degree slope to the fairway that you can't see from the tee. So if you go right in the perfect spot, it'll hit right and roll down the fairway left to give you a really nice shot. I did that this time. I was really proud of myself. Took a 3-wood, hit it about 255, 260, which is perfect. Because if you hit it 290, it's going to roll all the way down the hill and it could roll into the muck stuff on the left or the right side. So I hit it 260. Really, really proud of myself. Second shot was an approach about 145, 150. And I hit it slightly right of the green, which is exactly what you want to do again. But you can't hit it too deep, because if you hit it too deep, you're going to be putting downhill and that putt will roll right off the green. And if you hit it too left, it's going to roll right off the green down into out of bounds territory. So I hit it right, chipped it on. My chipping has been on fire lately. Thank you, Trey Craig, and thank you, people on the internet, for pointing me to opening my club face, leaning forward, and just chipping it. And then I two putted. So it was another bogey. You know what? Double bogey on hole 1 through 3. I take it. And until you play, you think, oh, that's kind of shitty. No, that's perfectly fine for a mid handicap on hole 1 through 3 for Lakeside. Hole 4, first shot, right. And when you go right on hole 4, it's good night, Irene. It's over. It's over. There's a line of trees right on the right side. And if you get over there, you're done, because you'll hit it left, possibly. And if you hit it left on hole 4, there's probably like a 60-foot drop from the green top down to hole number 5. It's a guaranteed double bogey. I hit it left, or hit it right, then I hit it left. It rolled down the hill halfway. And I was actually proud because, hey, you know what? Third shot, maybe I can chip it up, get it up there. No problem. That didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen. It didn't happen. I chipped it up for my third shot onto the green, and it rolled off. On my fourth shot, I finally chipped it closer to the hole, but I chipped it too far, and I three putted for a 7. I love my course, I really do, but I've had 7 or 8 rounds where I really did not want to play golf anymore after I played there after the first 4 holes. The rest of them, you know what? I did really well. Bogeys and pars. I actually had a couple birdies. I almost had a hole in one on hole 15. I was 2 feet away from my first hole in one ever, and I still shot a 92 because of the first 4 holes. One of these days, I'm going to start on hole 10, get a good vibe going, and then let those last, or the first 4 holes, come to me a little bit later. But that day was not today. Shout out to the cats I play with. I love playing with you guys. Harrison, my brother Vic, Mike Jones. Love y'all, man. It was a pleasure playing with you all. And we'll get out there again soon. But the last place I played really close to my heart, and it's the place where I learned how to play golf, and it was the first place that I played real golf, I guess you could say, on a regular basis is Belmont. Belmont is a first tee course right across the street, actually, from Lakeside Park Club, and it used to be um, Hermitage, I believe, Country Club, and they actually had the only major ever to take place in Virginia at Belmont, well, Hermitage Country Club, back in the Sam Snead days. Uh, it fell into disrepair for a very long time, and then Henrico County bought it and turned it into first tee. And it's no longer 18 holes, now it's 12 holes, but it's one of those courses where if you played it once, you can play it 1,000 times. It's a fantastic municipal course, and even though it's not 18 holes, it's only 12. It's got a charm that can't be beat. It retained some of the old school vibes of a major course, but it also is very approachable. Had a fantastic time there too. I hadn't played it in a really long time. I've kind of been traveling around Virginia, giving other places a shot. But there's a comfort in playing somewhere that you learn how to play for the first time. Shot up 43, made a couple big putts, which, I mean, you got to think, dude, a 43 for me is a, if I'm on pace to break 90, write your grandma. I had a great time. But it was a fantastic time with friends again. And there's nothing like getting out there with folks, swinging a club, and just really having a good time. And Belmont is the perfect place to do that. It's no frills. The facilities are fantastic. So if you ever come to Richmond, Virginia, stop by Brook Road and holler at the folks at Belmont. Next segment, we're going to talk about the business of golf again. And we have some fantastic things coming up in Henrico County that the Henrico County Economic Development Partnership is going to invest in golf in a big way with some folks that have experience crafting one of the finest courses in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So stay tuned. Northern Henrico County in Richmond, Virginia is in for a treat because we got some fantastic news last week when the Henrico County Sports and Entertainment Authority announced that they would be purchasing the Crossings Golf Club in Henrico, Virginia. This is very important to me, obviously, because number one, I'm a Henrico County resident. Number two, I'm a golf fanatic. And number three, you can never have enough public courses anywhere, but especially in Virginia. The idea behind this is to rescue and preserve our lone PGA Tour event in Richmond, which is the Dominion Energy Charity Classic, which takes place at the Country Club of Virginia. So the Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority is going to be purchasing the Crossings Golf Club for $3 million. And they're actually allowing a company called Pros Inc. to renovate the course and operate it and maintain it as a public golf course. The Crossings was fine. It's seen better days before, but the layout was fantastic previously, and it gave us an outlet to have some really great uh public time. Played it once before, really loved the layout. But the folks at Pros Inc. are most known for their renovation and operation for Independence Golf Club which is in Chesterfield County, Virginia, our neighbors to the west. When I tell you Independence is the most fantastic course in this area, the most fantastic public course in this area, I am not lying. That place is a gem of all gems. And if you ever get a chance to come to the Richmond area and you don't play Independence, you're not playing golf if you're a golfer. Really, really fantastic place. And I cannot wait to play this new course that's coming up. I wonder if they're going to call it the Crossings or call it something else. But this is one of the things I'm really passionate about is economic development. I believe that you build it and they will come. And the plan that they have for this course is nothing short of immaculate. What they're trying to do here is renovate the course to PGA standards and hopefully in 2026 it will become the permanent home for the Dominion Energy Charity Classic because CCV backed out. Country Club of Virginia is a private course, and for a week before the event, none of the members could get on and play. So they kind of dealt with it for a while, but 2 years ago, the members at CCV were like, yeah, nah, we're not going to pay upwards of a $20,000 initiation fee plus, all the accoutrements for you all to shut us out during peak season of the golf season. We need our course back. So what they're trying to do and what the Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority is trying to do is keep the Dominion Energy Charity Classic, but also attract LPGA events and PGA events, actual PGA Tour events to Virginia. Right now, the biggest event that we have in Virginia is the Dominion Energy Charity Classic. We are going to be hosting at RTJ Gainesville the Solheim Cup this year. Look out for that. I will be there with Kelly documenting everything from that. But other than that, we're kind of shut out. Anthony Romanello, shout out to Anthony Romanello and all the folks at HSEA. They really did a fantastic job really luring the PGA back. And the moment that CCB said they were not comfortable hosting the tournament anymore, Henrico jumped into action and said, we want to do something to keep this here. So they believe, and I do believe as well, that there will be millions and millions of dollars worth of economic impact that will be taking place because of this golf course. I think they say that it's a $34 million economic impact, but I would say it probably will be more than that due to the location of this golf course right on I-95, 295, and Route 1. So the traffic will be coming from far and wide to come. It's a little bit more convenient than where the Country Club of Virginia is, kind of deep into a very, very nice section of Parham Road in Richmond. And the most important part is they're putting the money where their mouth is. They bought it for $3 million. They're going to have a 20-year lease, $1 a year, so not really paying any money for it. But the county is investing $11 million into the renovation. So a golf course that's already existing, they don't have to do any real demo for it, but they're going to sink $11 million into this course. It is going to be a sight to behold. And to have that be a public course where we can all play and practice. Ooh, baby, I am going to be super, super happy with this. 18 holes is going to be great. They're extending it as well. They're going to have some 600-yard holes, a 520-yard, some water shots on hole 6, water shots on hole 17 and 14. From the Champions tees, it's going to be 7,415 yards. So 800 yards longer than the current iteration. And the three longest holes, 2, 7, and 15, will get longer. So two's going to go from 552 to 605. 7 is going to go from 529 to 560. And 15 is going to go from 535 to 620. So there's going to be two 600-yard holes on this course, which means you got to get your big stick out, guys. You got to get your big stick out. But this is going to be fantastic. Like I told you, though, a lot of the shell of this is already completed. You know, they're not going to have to do a lot of demo. They're not going to have to tear down any trees or design it differently a ton. So imagine what $11 million is going to do for the lushness of this. It's going to be, ooh, I cannot wait. And if it is half of what Independence Golf Club is, it's going to be something to behold. Shout out to the folks, Dennis Bigmeyer, Anthony Romanello, all the folks at the Henrico Sports Investment. They've done a fantastic job. This is going to be actually next to an arena that they just built and close to an arena that is coming. So they built an arena that's close to here that attracts college sports and a lot of travel tourism for travel sports. And they're building an arena called Green City, which is going to be like a 12 to 13,000 seat arena. And I could be wrong about that. It could be 17, meant to host NCAA tournament games. So this is going to be the sports corridor, and I'm right in the middle of it. Can't complain. Can't complain. Shout out to you guys, the Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority. You all are doing a fantastic job bringing sports to this area. And make sure I get a tee time. All right, guys, you already know what it is. Fit check time. I've got 4 entries this week. Some that are stalwarts of the golf landscape, some you've probably heard of, and one you definitely need to check out. And what I'm going to try to do with this too is highlight some brands you know, but also some brands you need to know, because there's a lot of great folks doing unbelievable work, putting out great fits, and maybe they're not the behemoths like Nike, Adidas, FootJoy, but they're putting out heat. And I want to introduce you to some, but we're going to start with some stalwarts. Okay. First up on Deckington is the king of everything, and they owe their brand to the legendary Tiger Woods, but they're repped now by some of the biggest in the game, and the best player right now, the gold medalist, Scotty Scheffler. And I'm talking about Nike Golf. Nike Golf is a staple. They've always put out great stuff. They're not doing very, very well right now, stock wise, because people are kind of shifting off of Nike, going to other places. But you can still spot some Nike on the golf course. So, you know what? Shout out to Nike. I'm never going to defame Nike. I'm a big Nike fan, but I will say this. I almost quit golf when I first started because of Nike. And I don't say that out of regret. I blame Nike for almost having me quit. I had a pair of low top ones, all white, and Jordan 1s. Let me clarify that. The Nike Air Jordan 1 lows, so I'm not speaking in black. I will actually name the brand and the title. I had a pair of Nike 1s that my boy Takeen sold me for $100. Fantastic looking shoe. Loved it. Put them on. I was stunting like my daddy. Went out there for my first round, walked 18, and I've never felt a pain in my feet so deep that I wanted to cry. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you have flat feet like your boy, Nike is not the shoe for you. And I'm talking about in general, golf, lifestyle, running, any type of shoe that Nike makes, they do not make them for flat feet. And I have flat feet. So I wore them. They were my favorite pair of shoes to look at. And I was hurting. I was hurting. And I would come again, pair them with something different, wear them, come off the course, hurting, hurting. I went out and bought insoles for these things. They didn't work. Nothing worked, dude. I was like, bro, maybe this isn't made for me. Maybe golf isn't for people with flat feet. It's for duck billed feet. And I'm talking shit about myself. I know that. But Nike, I respect your game, but I'm a put this out there for folks who have flat feet. Figure something else out or get wide feet. I don't know if they sell wide shoes. If they do, shout out to Nike. If they don't, reconsider, read some literature on the subject. Are you sure? And you may know the rest. So we're going to look at Nike and their offerings. We get a picture of Scotty Scheffler here, kind of showing, what you'll never be. I don't think anybody's ever going to be Scotty Scheffler because he's a boss. But look, like I told y'all on the last episode, they're just letting black people wear Jordans on the golf course. Shout out to all the denizens. But they also have some really cool looking shoes. I like the look of some of these shoes, especially the Air Infinity. The Air Infinity looks cool. Like I kind of like the electric look. It stands out in the golf smoke beanie. But when you're thinking Nike, you're thinking the lows, you're thinking Air Max, you're definitely thinking Jordan. These golf shoes are fine. The Pegasus looks great, but man, they've got a ton of Jordans available to you, including not only like rebrands of the basketball shoes, but like the Jordan ADG5s. I like them, you know? And once again, also, they actually sell their gloves for $24. So they're not pricing themselves out. But I do want to say this. Dry fit technology is fantastic. But listeners, do you wear t-shirts when you play? Whenever I go out, I don't really see anybody wearing t-shirts. So I don't really get the motivation necessarily. Now, necessarily, I don't get the motivation for selling t-shirts necessarily to play golf in. Now, maybe you're working out, at the range or something that works, but this is a conversation probably for uh, a group chat somewhere or a message board. But do you play with a t-shirt? I personally don't. No shots. I don't give a fuck what you wear, really, as long as you're comfortable and out there swinging it. I might clown you and call it ugly, but I'm not a prude. I won't be like, hey man, I'm gonna rat you out to the people that own this course. You're wearing a t-shirt, you're wearing blah 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 blah. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Please don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy or gal. Don't be a snitch. Okay. But I really love these Jordans, but I come back to it. I come back to it. Especially the Jordan 12s. Like I saw this white dude on one of these popular videos wearing the 12 lows. going crazy and humping the ground after he won like a greenskeeper tournament. And it's kind of scarred me from the Air Jordan 12 lows, even though they are my favorite basketball shoe of all time and I wanted them. I saw this video on Twitter one time of this guy just like going fucking crazy. He was like, "Yeah, man, yeah." And it has scarred me from the Jordan 12 lows, but also scarred because I know they're not going to fit me, dude. Like I can't fit into Nike shoes. I can't do it. I will cry. I'm crying just thinking about it, bruh. But shout out to Nike, man. I love what they're doing. I love these shoes. I'm about to get my girls some Nike fits uh for when they get more serious in golf. But there's nothing like a classic hat from Nike. It makes me feel like Tiger Woods and Scotty Scheffler, except they're probably shooting and around what I shoot on the front nine at my home course. So we're going to go to the next contestant on the Summer Jam screen. And these cats still doing it big, dude. Like, this company is one of my favorites because they're always brave. And when it comes to their choice and their selections and their design, I feel like they're not afraid to take chances. And this company is Adidas. Adidas Golf, shout out Colin Morikawa, who's the face of their brand, always has that sense of flair. It's not too crazy where you feel like I'm gonna stick out and stand out, but it's also got a lot of really cool stuff. I will say though that they have a pair of Adidas boots, rainy day golf shoes that I wanted to initially clown and say, "Oh man, why the hell would you wear something that looks like that on the course?" But then I thought about it and I'm like, dude, think about what it's like in September and October. But when you want to get out there when it's rainy, those shoes would come in handy because I have straight up destroyed some of the golf shoes I wear. I'm not going to tell y'all what I wear yet because that's going to come on another fit check. But I'm exclusively a golf shoe wearer of one brand that you will find out soon. But they look good. Like their shoe line is actually really reasonable and responsible. I like the styling. It's got like a classic and traditional look, like the Tour 360 24 golf shoes. Very traditional, you know. Got the got the stripes, $200. So I mean, they're a little bit pricey, but they're performance shoes. And I've heard from a couple of folks that exclusively wear Adidas kicks that they're very comfortable. Um, but they look normal, you know, nothing that's gonna really stand out and look crazy. You're not gonna get stares. You're just gonna be cool. The Ultimate 365 line that they've got, all in green, check. You know, I really truly think that, you know, having a sense of normalcy when it comes to these things is great. But one thing that I really thought was cool, and I want your opinion too, listeners, is spikeless golf shoes. They've got these Code Chaos BOA 25 spikeless golf shoes that are also laceless. Um, Very interesting looking shoes, I'm not gonna lie. But I read the reviews and people are pissed in the comments saying, dude, these are not waterproof in any way. I got off the course at the end of the round and my feet didn't hurt, but my feet were wet. I thought I had a defective pair. And then I went out for the next round and they were wet again. Nah, brother. So we'll see how they hold up. You know, I'm not going to complain about them too much. They look fly as hell, though. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you have to kind of sacrifice for comfort, or sacrifice for styling and comfort, but especially sacrifice for style. But to be on your feet for 4 hours, I don't know. That's a toughie. That's a toughie. But you know, pretty standard stuff. We're looking at textured quarter zips, look great. Uh, you know, pretty standard fare here. I'm not gonna lie. These things though, the space boots, these laceless golf shoes, whew, don't tell anybody, but I'm thinking about getting them. And they're on sale for $140 in white. I don't care. I was a big fan of the Kobe shoes. I don't know if you remember the Kobe shoes back in the day. The Kobe shoes came out. They were Adidas brand, and they look like they were supposed to be like Lamborghini shoes, but they really look like space boots. I had them in all black. In my 8th grade year, I played with them. They were heavy as hell. Everybody clowned them, but I was a denizen. I'm rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe. I bought anything Kobe had, and I loved his Adidas line, no cap. And I got those space boots, and I will die on a hill for them space boots. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. But we're going to come back to, once again, some of the issues that Adidas seems to be having. These MC87 Adi Cross 4D spikeless golf shoes, and they sell a ton of them, have a traditional look at the top line. On the bottom line, they look like they have like the Adi Boost technology. Fine. I mean, they look daring. Once again, if we look at the comments, not waterproof. I always wanted a 4D golf shoe when I bought them straight away when they are out. All other qualities are good, but they are not waterproof. How are these shoes not waterproof, fam? Where, what? That doesn't make sense. And you're dropping 250 for them, and you can't even wear them, baby, baby. That's sad news. Sad news, bad news, fam. Blessed be. They look fire though. I'm telling you, I have a very weird sense of style because I think they look good. I'm just not sure about wearing spikeless golf shoes, but I'd rock these if they were like on clearance or something, or I could find them at Golf Galaxy or Ross's or something. Those shits would be flame. All right. We can't go through one of these fit checks without some controversy. Okay. And this is going to be light controversy. You know what I mean? J.Lindeberg. I'm sorry. No. Now, you know what? This is going to be a very controversial topic, I think, and I'm kind of going to be shooting from the hip. J.Lindeberg is a brand that's very, very popular in the Norwegian countries. I went to Finland and they had some J.Lindeberg there, and I was about to get a shirt because I was like, oh, yeah, I'm over here. I really don't see any J.Lindeberg anywhere else. Um, there's a reason why you don't see J.Lindeberg anywhere else in America. Um, it kind of looks Euro, like my man, Ben Stiller. It- it- I mean, I don't know if I can pull this off. The Thor printed top, I probably wouldn't. You know, this doesn't look like golf stuff. This looks like ooh, 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 ooh. That what's that shit called? I can't remember what that movie is called. If you remember what that movie is called with Ben Stiller, where they're bobbing their heads and Owen Wilson, I've got it in my mind right now. And their models, write me in the comments. You know what that movie is. But this doesn't look like golf stuff. This looks like stuff that you would wear to like a European rave. Like maybe you got some illegal materials and you're smuggling them in from a, a Russian cartel or something. It doesn't look like golf gear though. It's not as floral as a lot of different brands that I've seen, but some of this stuff, like the oleo compression print layer shirt, I don't get it. I wouldn't wear that. Now, maybe the fabric is fashionable and like comfortable for you. Maybe it's wicking or something, but I'm not gonna wear that. What do you even pair that with? How do you go out of the house with that? If you're gonna go out of the house like that, in any stretch of the imagination, I'm not gonna mess with you, okay? In a good or bad way. I'm just gonna ignore you. But on the women's side, and I can't decipher whether or not this is because of the models or because of the fits. It may be a combination of both. Their women's line clears the men's line by a wide margin. Shout out to my sister Lila Blackstone, who wrote in last week and said that there is a dearth of women's fashion that looks out for the women. It's almost like a carbon copy for the men and women stuff. And even when you go into pro shops, like women don't have that much of a selection. And when they do have a selection, it's just kind of blah. This is now this kind of women's clothing, this kind of women's golf apparel is right up my alley. It has a really tasteful mix of daring, shapely fashion. It's avant-garde, but it's also traditional. So you wouldn't necessarily, you know, look too crazy with it. But I love the prints with these. And once again, it could be just the models. I'm gonna throw that out there. But I think it's very stately what they're wearing here. I like their women's line. So if you're a woman looking for something to rock, J.Lindeberg might be it for you. I mean, I really truly think this is a good look for you. The Nadia dress, woo woo, love it. Shout out Nadia, shout out Cookies. The Lauren DeBoss mid layer too looks good. They've got a Nelly pant. I think it's inspired by Nelly Corda. I like the J.Lindeberg line for the women, man. So they get a definitely get like a two. I'll give them a 2 out of 5 for the men's line. They get a 5 out of 5 for the women's line. I'm really enjoying that. Shout out J.Lindeberg women, and we might talk about the dearth of women's options for fashion and golf on another episode. But that's bothers me somewhat. Um, Shout out to all of our women playing golf. You know, you've got a kind of the deck stacked against you first and foremost, you know. But I've seen um some of you guys come out there looking fantastic. Keep doing what you've been doing. And we will never clown women in their fashion choices. They know more than I do. Uh but I love the way this looks on a woman. So shout out J.Lindeberg. We got one more though. And this brand is called BlackBalled Golf. BlackBalled Golf is an apparel brand that's diverse and inclusive, started by two black dudes. Looks like they're from Atlanta. And they want to break down barriers and celebrate differences. And that's kind of what we're trying to do here at the Green Teas podcast. So shout out Matt Daniels, who is the co-owner and co-founder, and Jordan Griffin, who is also a founder. These two gentlemen really have a passion for golf. Number one, passion for fashion, and have a fantastic story as well. Uh, Matt is a golfer who was inspired by his grandfather to golf, and he also played in the NFL. Um, but unfortunately, in 2012, his grandfather, Buddha Boy, passed away. And after his NFL career was over, he decided he wanted to play golf, got the itch like we all do, and kind of fell in love with the game. I'd love to get you guys on the podcast too to kind of discuss your journey with your brand, Jordan and Matt. But they've got a fantastic looking line here that I think you should check out. So blackballedgolf.com, check them out. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. And you can get 15% off your order. They got some heat on here. They got some heat on here for sure. So Carpath only is kind of their shirts that they're selling. The black and green tee. What I looked at is the Heritage Polo. Heritage Polo looks fantastic. It's almost got this like vintage velvety looking feel. It's got a zipper instead of buttons at the top, which I love. It's quarter zip shirt. And it's got that bowling stitch look. I love this look. You know what I mean? I really do. Really looks fantastic on them. And I definitely cop one for sure. Also got utility vests. They've got a bundle of tees. Once again, this might be for your range, or if you wear a tee out to the golf course, you can rock these tees. Super dope. Super dope. I love this contoured stripe polo. I'm a big stripe fan. This reminds me of my Polo Ralph Lauren days when I used to wear a lot of like striped polo stuff. Love that look. And it's also very classy, right? Like this look is very classy. But then the one thing that interests me and probably is going to be my favorite from this brand is the pants. Pants are very important to me. You can get away with a lot of the shirts that people wear, but the pants, you've got to get the right pair of pants. And they have two pair of pants that I really enjoy. Number one is their gentleman's pants. Their gentleman's pants are your typical jogger looking pants. I believe they sell them in gray and in tan. Excuse me. They sell them in gray and tan. Love the way they look. They look absolutely comfortable. The nylon around the waist as well kind of gives you that breathability that you normally wouldn't have. It has belt buckles, so you can get away with wearing it. For those folks who are haters and don't want to see people wearing joggers on the golf course because you're a stone cold hater, if you're hating on joggers at a golf course, I just want to throw that out there for you. But they also have a really cool pair of pants that I'm like, bruh, one of these is sold out. And once they get back in stock, this Draw Tech blue, Draw Cord Tech blue pair of pants, baby, call me. There's drawstrings on every bit of this pant. Looks extremely comfortable. It's got a black utility belt, double side pockets. It's water resistant. It's an adjustable leg opening, so you can either have them looking like joggers or not. Ooh wee. Definitely shout out to me, BlackBalled Golf, when y'all get that back in stock, because I'm buying them. They're $90, which is much cheaper than your typical pant. Usually they go for 120 or above. Overall, though, love the mission, love the brand, love what they're doing with it. Go out to blackballedgolf.com. That you can get 15% off your order. Tell them Carter sent you. Go get striped up. Looks fantastic. And we're done with Fit Check. We're going to move on now to a recap of what's been going on in the world of golf. Actually playing golf in the last 2 weeks, including the Olympics. So stay tuned. All right. Last but not least, we talk about the Olympics and the fantastic rounds that the men and women had in Paris last 2 weeks. And if you are a loyal listener to the Green Teas podcast on the Fairway to Green podcast network, you will know that I am Nostradamus. I called it on the men's side. Scotty Scheffler is your gold medalist for the 2024 Olympic Golf Championship. Shout out, Scotty. We appreciate you, big dog. You make me look good all the time. Shot a 20 under. And in his typical fashion, he had a final round 9 under par, which tied the course record in Paris, and just shows you that he's got the heart of a champion, man. This guy with this gold medal is probably going to be the player of the year this year. I know it's based on PGA Tour, but you know what? He's going to go on the FedEx Cup, probably win that championship. Uh, and he's had a fantastic year, capped it off with a gold medal, and really stood on the podium as number one and was a fantastic steward for the game of golf. Shout out Scotty Scheffler. You're a king, man. Second, taking home the silver is Tommy Fleetwood of Great Britain. Had a minus 18 for the tournament. Could have forced a playoff on the final hole, but didn't. Um, and Hideki Matsuyama took home the bronze at 17 under par. Great job, gentlemen. I really enjoyed watching this tournament. I think it was fantastic. Shout out to the Peacock Network too, not only for golf but for the entire Olympics. This entire Olympics was a master class in how the new era of watching sports should be on your phone or on an app. It was so easy to navigate, and I could find everything at the drop of a hat. So thank you, Peacock Network, for your fantastic coverage. Thank you, Miss Pressel, as well, for your fantastic calling of the women's tournament, which we're gonna talk about shortly. But I've got some friends that were over there doing commentary for the women's tournament. But for the men, great job. Unfortunately, though, we have to talk about some collapses. It looked like John Rahm was going to take one home, and he was very strong going into the final day. But he I don't want to say choked. I hate saying the word choked. He collapsed along with Xander Schauffele and my boy Rory McIlroy. All of them had some rough go at the end of the tournament. Um, Xander faded, went into the water. Rory also flew into the water, had a double bogey. Um, that's tough. You know, you can see the gold at the end of the tunnel, and golf is a tough game. You know, it's not for the faint of hearted. It's not for the weak. And even the greats of our time, like Rory, can lose it down the stretch and collapse. But hey, this is about the winners. Shout out Scotty. Congratulations to you on the gold medal. Tommy for the silver and Hideki for the bronze. Tip my cap to you all. Fantastic tournament, and I love watching it. On the women's side, my pick going in was Nelly. I mean, that was a strong pick. I don't care what anybody says. You know what? It doesn't matter what you say. Nelly was a good pick. You can't go wrong picking her. Unfortunately, she also had a tough go of it at the end of the rounds there and also collapsed. But I'm going to say it. Lydia Ko, congratulations to you. Taking home a gold for New Zealand, and also with this win, becoming the newest Hall of Famer in LPGA. Congratulations to you. You are so deserving. Uh, really fantastic time. Esther Henzelet got the silver, and Julin got a bronze. She had a final round of 1 under and a 10 under total for the tournament. Fantastic. She almost collapsed as well. Had a 5-shot lead going into the back nine of the final day. She went into the water on 13. 13 was a hellhole during this tournament. It was very tough. A lot of folks kind of saw their dreams go by, and Lydia almost had hers sneak out of her grasp on 13. But man, Nelly was looking so good, in this tournament, and I was really rooting for her. And then she fell right off a cliff. Rose Zhang shot a 5 under, and Charlie shot one over. It was a tough day. We had a lot of folks shooting over par in this tournament. A lot of really big names on the women's side as well. But to the victors go the spoils. And Lydia Ko, congratulations to you on a fantastic gold medal victory and surefire induction into the LPGA Hall of Fame. What a fantastic accomplishment for a great career. So congratulations to you. All right, guys, that's it. I'm done. Hopefully you all have a great couple weeks. We'll see you all in 2 weeks to talk about some clubs that I've been trying out and a brand that I started out with that just came out with a new line, Cobra. So look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for joining me. Check me out on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube, TikTok, wherever else you see this black face. We love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you soon.